All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the edition of Deeper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. We're in the garage today. I really wanted to be outside, but it's raining, and I don't really feel like risking getting soaking wet in the rain, smoking a cigar. Plus, we have some little special guests with us. All the children here. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, we have Vashman up. So tonight, let's talk about what we're smoking, what we're drinking. Then we'll talk about what's going on in the video. So tonight, I'm smoking the COA Colombia. This is part of the COA's World Series. They have cigars from all over the world. They're the same ones that did the Brazilian cigar. This one's a Colombian cigar. Which I have to admit, I'm actually enjoying. In honor, I would have been a finished cigar, but I couldn't find any. In honor, this video is going to be about our exchange student. We have the Finnish long drink. Apparently, this is a kind of a traditional party beer, as our exchange student put it. It's a party beer from Finland, sweeter, and yeah, not really something you'd have with dinner, but something you're going out clubbing, you're having a bit of a picnic. It's kind of, someone else told me it's kind of like Mike's Hard Lemonade. So there we go. Yeah, I should have guessed. It's grapefruit flavored, not very citrusy. Oh, Joy, thank you. Thank you to our Finlander who pointed that out at the store and said I should try. It's delicious. Anyway, so we're here with Vashman. We're going to be talking tonight with all 6 of my kids and probably homeschooling Mama. We'll see what happens. She's kind of busy, but she said she might come down and also give her 2 cents. So our exchange student has officially been on the plane, took off. She left. She is spending some time in New York. When this video drops, she will still be in New York for about another 5 days, I think. 5-6 days she'll be in New York. Kind of checking that out with her parents. And yeah. So anyway, Vashman, did you enjoy having our Finlander here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always like seeing about we're always surprised about all the stuff we do here.
Yeah, we do a lot of different stuff. A lot of stuff she always says that's not how we do it in Finland. What's your favorite memory?
I guess her being surprised of how many family members we have at the Christmas party.
Yep. Then we had a large family reunion style Christmas party. And she actually had to go hide for a while, go run off and hide, so that she gets some alone time because there's just way too many people. So Vashman, this is our second exchange student. You had one live in your room, where Swedish Compass had one living with her. So, in your opinion, should we do another exchange student?
Yeah, but we should let the student make sure the student do the jobs, because it was a bit tiresome picking up the jobs from the Finlander.
Oh, making sure they do their chores. Although you'd have to do your chores too.
I know.
But you won't be here because you'll be off in college.
I know.
Or out of my house entirely.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so a conditional yes, as long as we really drop the hammer on our new exchange student for doing chores. All right, any last words before we leave, Vashman?
No, not much.
Okay, stand by. We're back with the
Compass.
next child. Say hello, Swedish Compass.
Hello.
You got at least put a wave or something. Put a hand in front of the camera. There you go, peace sign, right? All right, so you got to live with the Finlander.
That's true, I did.
You did. So, in your opinion, how did it go?
I think it went pretty well. I mean, it was a little itchy in places, but...
A little itchy in places?
Well, yeah, like, some people got on some people's nerves, some people rubbed other people wrong, but, I mean, that happens with...
Is that what the kids are saying these days? It's getting itchy?
No, I think that's just me.
That's just you. Okay, good. So, what are you drinking? You should at least show that off, maybe explain it.
So I have a Baja Blast.
Yes, why is that significant?
Well, me and the Finlander would go to Taco Bell and only drink Baja Blast.
Yeah, she loved Baja Blast. It's the only American food drink that I think she actually will miss and likes, except for maybe barbecue sauce, but that's a whole other story. So, all right, Swedish, what is your favorite memory?
I think my favorite memory is it was like a random day, and I thought that Fairy and Wolf were gonna come and drink tea with me, but they changed their mind last minute. So I was just sitting here with my very fancy Japanese tea set, drinking tea all by myself. And she walks up and she's like, "Oh my God, what are you drinking?" Oh, I'm just having some chai tea. Immediately sits down, starts chugging down tea, and like won't get up until 2 hours later after we've refilled the pot 4 times.
Yeah, you learned about the Finnish coffee hour, which then you guys never did again.
I think we did it a few
Did
other
you?
times.
Did you a few
yeah.
other times? Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big thing having coffee or tea and spending 2 hours just talking. Maybe that's something we should have done more of to try and open her up a little bit. Had just had a coffee or tea time on Sundays. So the big question, with all that taken into consideration, should we get another exchange student?
I think we should. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get one next year, because everybody likes having a year just to kind of rest, recover, recuperate. I definitely think that the family should do it again.
Okay. Well, I can guarantee you we're not getting one next year. So,
Well, yeah.
that's probably in 2 years, but all right. Swedish votes yes. We should get another exchange student. She's willing to do it next year, apparently, which I think that's-
Not necessarily next year,
Well, okay.
but
Wait until
in the
you're
future.
gone, and then
wait until I move out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Swedish Compass. Up next, we'll see. And we're back with Wild and Free Wolf. How's it going, Woofer?
Good.
Good. All right. So, do you think we had a good year with our Finlander? Was it a good time?
Yeah.
You had fun.
We definitely got new experiences.
New experiences.
Something I definitely would not have tried.
What's that?
Moomin.
Moomin. We're a bit of a Moomin kick now. That's true. Moomin is big in Finland. So can you share with me a memory you have from the time when our Finlander was here?
When we were at the hotel and she ate pizza with her hands.
Her hands.
Not a fork, not a knife, not even a spoon.
So
Her hands.
up until that point, it was kind of a no-fly zone. Just do not use your hands to eat at all. And then we were at the hotel. We ordered pizza, and she allowed herself to eat with her hands.
Like 2 pieces, too.
At least
It
2
was like-
pieces, at least.
And
yeah.
breadsticks.
And breadsticks.
Full course meal there.
Yeah. So, Miss Wolf, should we get another exchange student next year?
I think so.
Or should we get another exchange student? It doesn't mean next year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why is that?
I mean, it's definitely kind of fun to host the Finlander and the Brazilian.
Brazilian and Finlander. Should we get another country? Like, I guess we gotta keep getting a new country each time, huh?
Well, I mean, we've only tried 2 countries so far, so might as well.
Might as well, right? Might as well keep it going. All right, any last words before we take off?
None that I can think.
All right, we back up with the 3 littles. So
And
here we
stand
go.
by.
We're down to the bottom half of the family. Not in quality, just in age.
Oh, hi.
We're here with Fairy Dancer. Say hello, Fairy Dancer.
Yo.
You gotta wave or put
Oh.
something for the
Hi.
camera. There you go. So, did you have a good time this year with our Finlander? Was it a good experience?
I feel as though it was a very good experience, yes.
Not just good, but very good. Why was it very good? You're just being polite.
I feel as though our Finlander fit really good, just like our past exchange student did, right into the family, like
Yep.
a piece of a puzzle.
Seemed like a piece of the puzzle. Something missing, something we didn't have before. So what's a good memory or good time you had last year? Good memory you had in the last year with our Finlander.
Last year with our Finlander.
Favorite memory, experience, thing you learned.
I'd say campfires, going out to the
Campfires. Our Finlander definitely liked campfires. She actually, maybe I was going to make that the thumbnail. She painted us a picture of the campfires, didn't she?
Yeah. That was one of the biggest things too, because when she got here, we were going outside and having fires a lot, and then towards the end of her stay, we were going outside and having fires a lot.
Yep. She got to try a s'more for the first time.
So good.
Yep,
Not
delicious.
impressed with the peanut butter
was
and
not.
jelly, though.
Yeah, she was not impressed with the s'more either, I hate to tell you. So all that into consideration, should, what?
The time her s'more lit on fire, but she kept shaking
Oh,
it
yeah,
around
you
instead of
blew on-
I blew on her s'more.
You blew on her s'more and she freaked out.
She
don't
freaked
blow,
out.
You
She's
don't blow on
like,
other people's
"What?"
food. Yeah, that was different. That was
That
different.
was that could have been favorite part there. That was good.
Okay, all right, that was good. So all that into consideration, should we get another exchange student?
I feel like yes, another exchange student would be good.
You think another exchange should be good? Alrighty, well, thank you very much, Fairy Dancer. We're gonna finish it off with the two little ones who don't actually have official gamer handles yet. We're working on that. All right, we're back with some extra special company. I actually have two children here because they want to do it together so they could finish and go back to playing their video game quicker. We have J-Man. Wave to the camera, J-Man. You gotta wave down low so we can see you. No, right? Yeah, there you go. And we have Baby Girl. Now, they're the only two kids who do not have official gamer handles yet, but that's because they're not old enough yet. So, did you guys have a fun time with the Finlander?
Yes.
Was it a good experience?
Yeah, it was fun actually.
It was fun, actually. Right.
I think it was really cool, and I would want another exchange student.
You're getting ahead of the game here. So first, share your favorite memory. Baby Girl, you're going to go first. Share your favorite memory. Or should J-Man go first?
I think
J-Man, you get to go first. What's your favorite memory?
downstate with Pina.
No, the Finlander. You messed it up. I'll have to bleep that out. We'll see. Maybe we'll just leave it. Going downstate to the family trip, was there a specific part of that trip you really enjoyed, or was it just the whole time?
The whole time.
The whole
with
time.
Finlander.
With the Finlander. All right, Baby Girl.
I think sitting by the campfire and doing videos and listening to stories and eating marshmallows.
Our big fire we had with the long video where we had everyone, the whole family, including our Finlanders, sitting around talking. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Sharing memories, stories, really summing up the whole year. So that was fun.
Yeah.
So Baby Girl, you said already you want to do another exchange student. What about you, J-Man? Do you want to do another exchange student?
Yeah.
Yeah? Should we do another one from Brazil and Finland, or should we find a third country?
Ooh, let's try a third country.
Third country. What country do you think, J-Man?
Canada.
Canada. Okay. What about you, Baby Girl?
French.
Of France. A French person of France. Well,
I'm with Abby, maybe.
Canada or France. Okay, sounds like fun. Well, you kids are going to go back to playing video games. And we'll see maybe if we get homeschooling mom out here. Let's see. We'll all right, we're back with the last visitor to the garage. Why did you put your hands on a dead heater?
I just feel claustrophobic.
Oh, okay. Well, say hello.
Hello.
Homeschooling mom is here to join me. What are you drinking?
Hot coffee, actually.
What type of hot coffee?
I don't know. Did you make a specific kind?
I made the Finnish coffee.
Apparently Finnish coffee.
Coffee straight from Finland. The Finlander was gracious enough to leave some for us. I don't think it was gracious. More, she didn't have space. So it was one of many things she decided to throw out. You should try this. This is the
I don't know
Finnish.
if I'd say throw out. I'd say leave.
Lee was.
She
She
actually,
did throw out a lot too.
She threw out a lot of papers, but she. Oh, this.
This is their traditional Finnish beer.
I don't know. Really?
You gotta try a sip.
It's like orange or.
Yep, tangerine or grapefruit. I think it's more of a grapefruit than a tangerine.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep. This is. Did you expect anything less after talking about all the vegetables and fruits they don't have and
Well,
lack of flavor?
I mean, it's better than some of the other stuff I've had.
That was one thing that our exchange student did say is that we have so much more flavor
You would think Sambuca would be much more popular there.
I bet Sambuca is popular there, but this is kind of the party drink. Maybe Sambuca is even just kind of a.
Maybe it's unpopular because
maybe
it's not the right.
It's not the right star anise. So anyway, we're here. The kids all shared their. We asked them pretty much all the same 3 questions. Did they have a good time? Favorite memory, and will they do an exchange student again? So.
How many said yes?
That's you got to watch the video.
No, you got to tell me. That's not fair.
No, you go watch the video.
No, but,
There were some reservations actually about having a third exchange student. So
oh, from who?
you have to watch the video.
That's
I don't
not
wanna-
fair.
I know it's not. So let's go. We'll start off with those 3 basic questions for you, and then we'll kind of build on a conversation. Because unless you want to get right back to grading and Sunday activities, or at
I
least out of
finished-
my garage.
I
apparently.
finished graded. Thank goodness.
Apparently either something died or something's dirty, something's in the garage that homeschooling mom is not jiving with. So we'll start off this quick. Did you have a good time with our exchange student this year?
Yes, overall, I would say that we had a few more bumps and issues this year, but not so much, I don't want to say, it was more of a maturity thing and an acceptance thing. It wasn't a, behavior or,
Yeah. There was no
Like,
real big behavioral issues,
yeah,
no trying to
I think it was
sneak out or stay out.
Yeah,
or,
no, it was definitely a maturity thing and an unwillingness to accept no for an answer.
Well, and then I'll stand by this because she's not here to refute it. I don't think she got into the exchange program for the true exchange. This was kind of her year abroad type thing.
No, she said that multiple times.
That what? This was her year abroad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She expected this to be a vacation and to not really have to worry about schoolwork or anything. Yes, she was going to go to school, but she really didn't have to get good grades and she didn't have to worry about it. And that was, I think, the maturity level. It was the biggest, almost like a slap in the face to realize that no, you have to get good grades to stay. You have to do your best. You have to go to school.
Well, and at first she didn't want to have an exchange. She didn't it always was. That's not how we do it in Finland, so I'm not doing that.
Yep, that's stupid. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's stupid. That's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Well, we can't do that in Finland, or we don't. That's not how we do it. So
Yeah.
I did. Swedish Compass did throw her under the bus.
Yeah.
So a fun little joke whenever anyone comes over, but we always do with the exchange students, anyone, and they eat, and like, do you want seconds? Like, oh, no. So it's a family thing. Like, what, you don't like my cooking? She actually admitted, she swore Swedish Compass a secret, but it's not like she can do anything about it. She hated my cooking. But not due to the flavor, the pure amount of protein and grease we put in our food.
Well,
So fried stuff, hamburgers.
yeah.
And
I
then
can
we-
see that.
Yeah, she even admitted that technically she probably should have put vegetarian on her list, but the company told her she would not get placed if she put vegetarian.
Well, and I mean, in her defense, I have a lot of problems with your cooking because you do use a lot of grease, like especially for the meats and stuff that we cook. Like
It's
and,
deep
like,
fried chicken. There's no way to do
I know,
no
but
grease
like
deep fried
it is,
chicken.
it's greasy food. The deep fried chicken is amazingly delicious.
Yeah, so
So I don't complain, but I do admit that it is greasy sometimes.
okay. all right.
And pork, depending on how you cook it.
I'm gonna dry the
can't-
shit out of
no.
all the food from now on. It's gonna be super
Oh.
dry and no flavor.
Now stop.
Yeah, I mean it's there definitely was. That was kind of my complaint when we first started. Is there was no real want to experience American culture. Even like there was a lot of stuff that we did early on that like, well, this is your only
Well,
chance
very
to
big
do it.
criticisms of American culture.
Yeah, very big. Didn't want to do anything American. Didn't want to.
And I think that's what made it hard for her to make friends too at school because, like, you'd say something and the first thing out of her mouth was, "Well, that's stupid."
That's stupid.
And so I think for the first couple of months, especially, maybe longer, like that really is going to turn people off, especially teenagers who are like, but this is how I've always done it, or this is how everybody I know does it. And
Well, and I mean, she admitted she was not great at making friends back in Finland. That's really a tricky thing. But I think she also, again, because she didn't really want to have a connection, didn't really want to make friends at first.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why we tried to push her towards sports, have her do, was it volleyball first? Yes, volleyball first, and then basketball, and she just really didn't want to make friends. She didn't want to have a
In her
connection
defense, though,
here.
she did want to try sports for that purpose.
Mhm.
She agreed that sports was probably the easiest way to kind of get a shoe in for friends and people to
Yeah,
like
kind of a
hang
built-in
out
friend
with.
system.
So, I mean, she was willing to try things, and my understanding is back in Finland, she didn't play a single sport. So she
No
tried.
team sports. She did individual
No,
sports like diving and
yeah,
stuff.
but
that,
she didn't do that after the age of 12 because she
well,
wasn't
but she still did
she
sports.
wasn't-
Yeah,
good enough
Right,
with
right,
how
yeah.
they consider things.
yeah. So, so that was interesting. Yeah, but I think it went fairly well. We didn't have the issues with our Brazilian who, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and he's still not home yet, even though he promised to be home by 10.
He only did that a couple of times. Grounding him once was
That
pretty
was pretty
effective,
effective.
honestly. The problem he had, and honestly, because he was in every sport possible, like we did have to stay up a lot more for him to
Mhm.
arrive because boys' sports are usually after girls' sports. So if they had a basketball game, the girls' away game, the girls would play, then the boys would, then the JV would
Yeah.
play, and then the varsity would play. So he was always like one of the last teams
One
to
of the
play.
last
So
teams to play.
he would get home later every single time.
That's true. That is true.
So I don't
yeah.
think that was all like just him being social, although that was a couple of times. Most of it though,
That did happen quite a
that
bit.
did happen, but most of it was sports related, like football. Oh my gosh, some of those.
Yep. No, basketball's worse than football. Basketball, it was
I
like
don't know.
yeah,
They
no,
play
it
a
was-
couple of downstate teams for football, not for basketball.
Mm,
There's more local basketball than football teams.
I suppose. So, pivoting a little bit, what is your favorite memory?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know or don't have one? I understand both.
Well, I mean, I have some good memories.
I mean, well, let's share some good memories. Again, I'm not gonna.
So not my favorite memory, but for me it was kind of hilarious when realization struck at the very beginning. Like, why can't I go to a different school? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Like it was like a 3-hour long mental breakdown, tears, yelling, fighting, screaming, trying to come up with every alternative way. And I had to for me that was funny. It was a good memory only because you could see her thought process.
Yeah.
And you could see her realizing very quickly, within the first few days, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is
and
not what I signed up for.
I have to be more serious, and I have to change. I can't expect everything around me to change. And
Yeah.
that you could see right away, that was huge. That was hard. And you could see a lot of growth. And I think, and maybe it's me as a homeschool teacher, but seeing that growth was fun to watch. That was nice. All through the exchange there was growth, but right there at the very beginning, and then actually the last couple of months.
Last month too, where sadly, and I kind of predicted this. I think I said in one of the early videos, she's gonna get to the last month and then realize what she should be doing during an exchange program, what an exchange program really, what it's meant to be, where it's it's sharing ideas, it's trying new things, it's doing stuff that you would never do. And we don't do that in our country. Well, that's good because you do that here. You do that and experience that here. So.
And I guess my other would be her interaction with baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But again, that was only the last 2 months.
no, this started very early
Oh,
on.
did it? I didn't notice
and
it then.
So honestly, they were both equally unsocial when she got here. He was maybe 5 months old, 4
Yeah,
months
5.
old.
Yeah.
And so they were both equally unsocial. He wanted nothing to do with anybody. He's, at that
baby.
stage where it's just sleep, eat, And now he is super social and waving and stuff. And if you compared how she would behave sitting next to him in the car seat, in the back seat of the car, she made him cry multiple times.
Yeah, it was a running joke.
At first.
No joke.
Because she would try a couple of times to talk to him, and it would not go well because she didn't know how to smile at a baby or talk to a baby. But by the time she left, he wanted to give her a hug,
Yeah.
And so
Say his
like
goodbyes to
you could see like that, like she almost gained the ability to be social
at the same rate.
at the same rate as he did.
That's fair.
So it was cute to me.
Okay.
So there, you have a couple of fun memories.
Couple of fun memories, yeah. Not really specific memories, those were more like milestones and events. I mean, it was kind of
Yeah.
more like, and they were all progressive.
Well, okay, so it's hard for me to have a specific memory because a lot of times I was taking care of baby boy while you guys went. Like, I couldn't go to the lighthouse, I was in the back with baby boy because the stroller wouldn't go over the
Yeah, it
sand.
wouldn't go in the sand.
So there's a lot of things that like
Well, there was
you guys-
Kitch to Keepy,
Kitch to Keepy, again.
which we
I
never
was-
went back to. We were supposed to, and
We did
that's,
not.
whoops.
And she actually didn't request to go back.
That is true. Well, I thought she did. I thought she wanted to go back, but
Nope. She mentioned maybe going back in the fall, but then when we tried to work it out, she's like, no, that's okay. I think she went back when she went with friends
could be.
that way. So,
Well, and as she would put it, she does not remember the first, like, 3 weeks of being here.
it was funny watching her open her book of pictures, and she doesn't like.
Doesn't remember half of that.
Some of
Like,
that
she
is
does
like-
once she starts talking about it.
Yeah, but you could tell some of her
That,
memories.
that
were
was
still-
probably one of the best gifts we could have given. So we did it for our Brazilian. We give them a photo album, kind of like a yearbook.
Yeah, like
the
a memory
exchange.
book.
A memory book, a yearbook. Pictures, little stories, little write-ups, and
Walmart sells a travel book. I'll just throw that out
okay,
there.
well, I don't plug them too much in these videos, or else they take it down. So, but yeah, they we did a little photo book for them. Kind of help them remember and jog their memory. You know, our Brazilian, it was just more nice. It was like, oh, this is so nice, and you know, but I.
Well, and he did so much that I was able to include like specific dates for things.
Mm-hmm.
And,
where her, I think this is going to be her memory aid when she gets her.
yeah, right.
She admitted, she even said her biggest fear is she's going to get back to Finland and go to sleep in her own bed and wake up and just think this was all
One big fever.
one
dream.
big dream, that it was just some elaborate coma dream sequence, and she's going to just basically write it off and forget the whole thing.
Yep.
So, but we gave her stuff to bring her back in and whatnot, so.
Hopefully so.
Okay. Well, the big question for you: Are you going to do another? Are we going to do another exchange student? In your opinion?
Well, not next year.
Not next year. There were actually a couple of them who thought it'd be okay to do one next year.
It's hard having a senior and trying to do an exchange student.
It
I feel
is.
like we divided our attention way too much. I feel like we didn't give Vashman quite as much focus and attention for his senior year as we maybe could have or should have. Granted, we have the summer to kind of make up for that and do stuff.
Well, he was kind of starting to get into like, I just want to do my own thing.
Well, all teens do that,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that you should still ignore that it's their
No, I'm
senior.
not saying you shouldn't. I don't think we did. I think we did a lot of stuff with him, but
I think even the stuff that we did with him, it was still the focus was more on making sure our exchange student also had an experience and less about Vashman getting to experience this or that.
yeah, fair enough.
So I do think that's something we can easily fix this summer though. So I don't want to do it next year because Swedish Compass is in her senior year and I don't want to do that.
Swedish Compass did vote yes, by the way.
Oh
So
really?
she's not going to be here once we.
Oh, in
have
2
it-
years.
In 2 years,
Yeah.
because she knew that we were taking the year off, so she voted yeah, definitely. You know, you should really. Bashman was actually one who had a reservation.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
He said if we get another exchange student, we must put our foot down. That it does not matter; they will not skip out on their chores.
Ooh.
Because apparently he feels he got the raw end of the deal by being required to do the missing chores every time our exchange student was at a robotics thing or
Oh.
slept in, and he feels that he actually had to pick up her slack. And even like the few times when she got back from like Texas and was just exhausted and slept the day away, and like events like that, like she was here, could have done it, didn't.
Well, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And of all of them, he's the one that picks up most of the slack for everything. Now, in fairness, though, he's dealt with that twice because our Brazilian did almost no chores.
He did no chores. That one we did.
We kind of failed.
We
there.
failed there. We failed on having a good solid foothold on the chore chart. I don't totally agree that if like she was off, with her robotics or basketball or whatever, because he's now off at work missing.
But a lot of times when he goes to work, you still either make him switch chores or do them earlier and you don't do that to.
Well, but I mean it's hard when she's at school because we can't homeschool exchange students. So she's gone for
But she still comes here for 3 hours before she went to robotics.
sometimes.
2 hours, and she's still home in the evening. So I can see where he's coming from with that. But he won't be here to have.
It was kind of funny. Yeah, he's definitely 100%. Whether we get one in the fall or not, he's not going to be here.
Yeah.
So.
But he also knows his sisters, and where he will accept and get frustrated but still do the chores, his sisters will not.
There was a consensus, though, that if we do get another exchange student, we need another country. That we cannot get one from Brazil. We cannot get one from Finland anymore.
Oh, but we're running out of good countries.
Yeah. Canada was brought up by J-Man.
That does not seem much of an exchange.
I know, but he doesn't get it. But then Baby Girl did say France. And he's like, I changed my answer. I don't think he could think of another country. It was kind of a
Personally, I would shoot for an Italian.
Ooh, Italiano. I don't know. Those Italians, we had some.
My Italian family is kind of like tentatively thinking. So I would rather, Plus,
So
it
are you
would
thinking what do they call those?
like a known
Kinship.
kinship. It's not kinship.
It's not kinship.
But it's a known placement or
Yeah.
something like that on there. Maybe, but more like, I was born there. My family actually has really close ties to people there, so I think it would be fun for
For
me
you. Okay.
to have somebody from.
I suppose even though I wasn't really born in Finland or even have family from Finland because I grew up in the Kuna Peninsula, I just have some Finnish background, I guess. Although we did talk about this, I think, in a video where there's the cultural pause. So my Finnish experience from living up in the Kuna is 70 years, what it was like to grow up in Finland 70 years ago. So interesting. Italy.
I would think so.
Italiano.
If nothing else, I know, I actually do have a connection with my Italian family there. You could almost call them, I think, a host family, an exchange family. Only my parents lived there for 5 years instead of 10 months. But if I had questions, culturally,
That was really nice to be able to talk to my sister who went to Brazil.
yeah, it would be nice. I could talk to them culturally, what's significant, what's going on, and if something happens, if there's wait, what does this mean? To have somebody that I actively know in that country who's very familiar, obviously, with that culture. So I would try for Italian. Plus, a lot of them are the same faith as us, and
That's a big
that
one.
was hard. I don't think it was bad, but it was harder. Sometimes I felt like we didn't drag her to church because she was always willing to go,
Well-
and I think she liked it and appreciated it.
And the offer always was, and I made it multiple times. If you just want to go down to the basement, bring your Switch, go to the basement. Because as we put it for her and any of our exchange students, you don't have to participate, but you do have to be present. This is a family activity, the whole family's here. So you have to be present because we require everyone to be present. But do you have to participate? No. So,
Well, and a lot of times when we go to church, it's as soon as church is over, we go and do something else as a family.
Yep.
And if they stayed home, it would be one of us driving 7 to 14 miles back to the house
well, and
just to turn around and go back. It would have been a
it's
huge.
a super gray area, but at one time we were told you were not allowed to just leave them at home alone.
And you're still not supposed to. They cannot be home alone overnight. And
Not that we go to church and then baha out of there. That's not a thing, but.
but we
yes.
have gone to church and gone 3 hours away or 2 hours north or whatever. So.
I more mean that 90% of the time it would have been just for the hour and a half it takes us to drive in and drive home. But even that, the coordinator kind of made it seem like maybe that's also not the coolest thing ever. So
Well, I know that they're allowed to be home alone for at least a little while because most of the other host parents we know are dual income homes.
Yeah. this is
So
true.
they're definitely home loan for at least an hour or two every weekday.
I think it just can't get excessive.
Well, I don't think you could leave them overnight.
No.
So I think that's more the case. Like they can't be left repeatedly overnight or multiple nights and that sort of thing.
So Italy in Italiano.
So yes, I think I would do it again, but not next year.
Not next year. That's pretty much been decided. Even I'm.
And 100%. I know it's like not everybody's favorite, but it was easier to have a boy exchange student. On some, in some
We'll
ways.
put a big old pin in that one.
But I
Let's
feel
just-
like the experience, the whole point of doing this was so that our kids get the opportunity to share a
You share a
room with
room,
a stranger, and so like it's gonna be a while before we have another boy if that's the case.
Yep.
Unless we do 2 students and one shares a room with Wild and Free Wolf and the other one has their own room. Like if we had a boy and a girl student. So
I'm not crazy about that idea, but possible. But yeah, no, and I don't mind them not sharing a room, like having their own room, because once
I do.
I know you do. I'm not dead set, nail driven. This is what it has to be.
you don't have to be.
I understand that. But yeah, then we're stuck with a female for sure. So
For the next few years, yeah.
yeah.
Unless we do 2 again, like.
Well, then one's in their own room anyway. You might as well just
Yeah, but a boy room versus a girl room is different.
yeah. But again, then just get a boy and have his own. He can have his own room because by next year, we'll have an open room.
No, we probably won't.
We could.
We have baby boy who's gonna need a room.
Regardless, so you're stuck with a girl. Sorry. Hopefully your Italian family it's a female, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, he only has daughters.
Oh, I thought he only had boys.
I think he has one son, but mostly it's daughters.
Well, there you have it. All right. Well, anything else you want to share or talk about or discuss about this whole process? I'm actually doing a presentation on the exchange program for work. They asked if I'd present about that. You know who is very interested in it is the foster care division,
Why?
because they feel like this could be a way to get people to be comfortable becoming foster parents. Because if you're willing to let in a complete stranger and it goes cool, like you'd be willing then to take in another complete stranger with a totally different circumstance. It was I was talking to one of the guys.
Okay,
who-
so admittedly, in my mind, I do see how there are similarities, and there are times when I was like, "Wow!" Like
You can see
when
the
we drop our
logic.
student off at the airport, I was like, "Wow!" I feel like we have been fostering her for 10 months.
Mhm.
And I can see how foster parents would get attached and have a hard time saying goodbye, but also be like, yes, like this is my role. I can say goodbye. So I have respect for foster parents, and I think that is definitely like very well linked to what we do. But
The big difference is the exchange program. Like we shop around. We shop around for the student.
we do. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
To be fair.
No, true. That's.
To be fair, not everybody does. But in my opinion, it's apples and oranges. One, with the exchange program, we are guaranteed a certain age. With the foster program, from my understanding, a lot of
Nope.
times it can be very. You might say you're only going to take little kids. You might say you're only going to take teens, but that doesn't stop them from asking if you will take a different
Yes.
age.
They can ask.
Now you're not
but
required, obviously.
You are 100% because you are 100%. You can say no at any time.
You can, but I mean, if your heart is open to doing that, are you going to?
Fair, and we've talked to
I-
people who that's been the issue.
That's been
where-
the case where they only wanted older kids and they ended up with a newborn.
Mhm.
So I would say that would be different because we're guaranteed like they have to be 15, I think, to be part of the program.
It's 14, but then they're one semester students.
It's 15 before they can come country, and if they're 15, they can only be one semester student.
I didn't think so. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not.
because our Brazilian was just barely old enough to be a full.
No, because he turned 17 here.
He turned 16 right after he got here.
No, he turns 17.
His
Let's see.
birthday is August 20.
Yes, I understand when his birthday is.
The Ashman turned 16 in June. He turned 16 in August.
I think
'cause
you're
it's-
off on that.
It's been 3 years.
I think we gotta check the tape. I think we gotta check the tape on that one.
So, yes, I think that is different. And
Well, I mean, there's a lot of differences, but as far as what they were saying, it being a get your foot in the door to having a stranger in your house.
I mean, I think there's requirements that are vastly different. I think with when you foster, you have to take kids to so many different doctor's appointments, especially at first, and you have to like. Now maybe that's different depending on the situation, but from my understanding, like right after coming into your home, they have to go to the doctor. After being there so long, they have to go into the doctor. That is not something we have to deal with as host parents, and I
We're
don't.
actually discouraged from it.
Yeah. Well, no.
Well, we're not supposed to, like, they're not supposed to have dental checkups. They're not supposed to have eye exams.
Like they have to
can't
go into the
have-
doctor if something's wrong.
Yeah, they're not doing wild child. Yeah, of course, if something's wrong, but they're not doing the traditional like well child
Yeah.
dental checkups. Eye checkups. Like that's all supposed to have been done.
Yeah.
Usually, it's a lie, but.
And it is a different situation as far as their family setting, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Yep.
So
Well, and again, it's not me who gave this idea forward.
I
It
do
was-
see how it can be similar. Like
Yeah.
I do.
Even I was like, okay, I'm giving the presentation. But like, no, we want you to. We're going to record it and do it to the foster care group. Like, okay.
I can see why, but I can see like that is much different.
Yeah.
I could see maybe after the kids are out of the house, we might consider
I don't think so.
fostering, but there's so many other issues with
Yeah,
that
there's-
it's hard to.
I have kids by the grace of God. I don't have kids because I just want a house full of kids. So
I don't know. We keep taking exchange students.
that's something different, though. That's a horse of a different color, which I do definitely agree. Like I don't see the parallels, but the foster care team was like, oh yeah,
Well, I see some parallels, but I see a lot of significant differences.
yes.
So,
But yeah, no, I get to do a presentation here in the next month or so. I haven't actually nailed down the date yet, but I'm on the short list of presentations to be given. So
I mean, I do encourage anybody we know that is curious or interested to host. So.
yeah,
I mean, I'm honest, like, it's not easy. There are challenges. It can be hard.
I think they need a better, and maybe other areas or other host programs. They need a better training. Like here is what works. Here's what doesn't work. Here's where you might.
But I don't think that would be effective because,
Maybe
honestly, depending on the student, depending on what country and culture they come from, that's going to change.
This is a
Yeah.
reminder. Belle
Well,
has a
reminders.
saying.
We got Sammy going on,
This is a
our
reminder.
magician.
Yeah, that's
Is
the
it
same.
4 o'clock? Oh, well, it's almost 4.
That probably went off in our room.
That definitely went off in our room.
So, yeah, I would say that I can see some parallels, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do encourage everybody to try it. If they're even considering it, I would say try it.
Yeah, I would like to have. I don't know. Maybe there's YouTube channels of.
I've never seen one.
I haven't either. I haven't seen any. Like we were given a brochure
The
and
company
like.
does have a blog about it, though.
Yeah, but blogs are lame.
They're not.
They're-
If you like reading.
If you like reading, no one reads though.
I feel like maybe we should blog about it. Maybe
You probably should.
Maybe I should go through the book from our Brazilian
Mhm.
and do like backdated vlogs, like
Backdated
go
vlogs.
through like. Because I do feel like if we didn't have as many kids as we do have, I feel like we would have been unprepared for the different personalities and the different like issues that crop up.
Mhm.
And from seeing other host parents, I think we're a little bit more laid back and relaxed.
Well, we're laid back but strict because we're more open to trying new things, experiencing new stuff, having new personalities. But then at the same time, it's like we're willing to tell them no. So when they tell us, well, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, yes, for you and every other exchange student.
Yeah. But I feel like we're a little bit more accepting of other people's like ways of doing things. Like this
Yeah.
is like personalities.
Personality for sure. I know I get accused of being very biased and whatnot, but I'm not. It's we're very open actually. We like learning about cultures and ways of doing things and
I
meeting
did.
people.
I did talk to one of my aunts, and she has a very close friend or a cousin who she and her husband have 2 exchange students every single year.
Oh, good for them.
They are 70 years old
Oh boy.
and still have 2 exchange students every year. So I'm like, wow, that's impressive, but that's probably keeps you young, like,
Yeah.
because they keep you going.
Yep. I definitely do.
I'm sure if we had 2 that went to the same school, we'd be hopping.
Yeah, of course, one would be in robotics at the other school, and then one would be in basketball, and one would be
That's why you select them carefully.
carefully, right? Just nerds.
So they
All
have the
nerds.
same interests.
Yeah.
But I cannot regret that our Brazilian was so into sports because I actually really do love going
Oh,
to the
yeah.
school to go to sports events. I don't love going every week. Like I don't love trying to get to every game. But like I really like going to at least 1 or 2 football games a season. And now that we've done it for our exchange student, like it's kind of become a regular thing in the
It
last
has.
4 years.
And I think we might keep tabs on the robotics team, and I mean they're fun as hell to watch and see how they do, and
I mean, I think it'll be a little bit harder because we won't get the alerts and the notifications.
yeah,
Maybe.
just join their Facebook group. They post it all.
I didn't
on
know they
there.
had a Facebook.
Yeah, they got a Facebook group.
So, like, I feel like that has definitely, like, our kids like to go to the local schools' basketball games. They like to go to the football games. They like to go to the different events.
Yeah.
So, and that's not something we really did in the time we lived here before.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no reason to. It's not like, as homeschoolers,
But there's no reason to now that we don't have a student. And I still
Fair.
took the kids to a couple of the games when we didn't have a student.
Well, I mean,
between
when
our
we
two.
go though, they're all like, "Oh, tell us about your Brazilian."
Well, that
I'm
is
sure. I'm sure
true.
if when we show up for the football
Everybody
game in the
does
fall, everyone's going to be
recognize
like,
us.
"Tell us about how's your Finlander doing? How's your Do you still talk to your Brazilian?" Yes, we still talk to Brazilian. I don't know if we're talking. It's 50. Although she did send me a large text from New York about her experiences and whatnot. So
I think that'll
I
be
don't
hit and
know.
miss.
I don't know if she's gonna ghost us or not. I'm not even taking bets on that one right now, to be honest with you. Go either way. So. But anyway, hey, looks like you're getting cold, and at least you're not puking from the smell. And this is getting long, especially once I tack on the kids'.
How long are the kids?
We're at 34. Theirs were all about 5 minutes apiece, so another almost 30 minutes, I guess. Right? Yeah. So anyway, folks, I'm gonna go finish my delicious cigar. I'm gonna drink the rest of that, and now that I know about true Finnish cuisine and Finnish, that they have no seasonings, they have no like their fruits are all small, their vegetables are small. That was one of my funniest memories, is when we broke out strawberries. They weren't even good like they weren't spring or summertime strawberries. They were just like, the winter strawberries. And she was like, "These are huge. That's not a strawberry. That's an abomination to God and country." I'm like, well, actually, these ones are kind of medium. I mean, they're just, they're good size little strawberries like that. And then, what else do we do? We got some other fruit or vegetable.
Pears from our farmer friend.
Yeah, pears.
Ground pears, which he was like, these are the smallest pears you'll ever see. And she's like, these are about the size of ours.
This is about the size of ours. And they were small pears. They were
tiny. They were like walnut in a
gross,
shell size.
So yeah, that was, and now that I kind of got a little preview of Finnish cuisine, that beer makes complete sense. That's like, yeah, but okay, I could definitely see that being just a banger in Finland. So, all right, folks, consider being an exchange family, but definitely stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.